the train paradox. This video and the train paradox video that I made and uploaded a moment ago is in response to a video put out by an organization called 60 Seconds or something like that. I put the link in the video description, where I assume a physics professor, read liar, attempts to substantiate the theory of relativity, and he uses the illustration of the train paradox. But before he does, he says that muons prove relativity. Muons prove relativity. I say no. Muons are produced when cosmic rays hit any atom, but in this case, the atoms that compose the Earth's atmosphere. The atoms that compose the Earth's atmosphere. Nitrogen, oxygen, argon, water, which is hydrogen and oxygen, and various other little things. Even a chunk of steel is mostly empty space, and Einstein would agree with that. And I'll use an analogy that Einstein used himself, showing that he does agree that matter contains a lot of empty space. He was asked, could man ever produce energy from atomic nuclei by splitting them, say with a fast proton or fast neutron? And he said no. Man will never produce nuclear energy, Einstein said. And I saw it on tape. It's him speaking. It's Einstein. It's there. You can find it. No, I didn't. I saw it in a dramatization of Einstein's life. Einstein has gotten a lot of dramatization lately, and that's what has gotten my attention. Why is Einstein being pushed fast and furious on the world? But in this dramatization, Einstein said no, man will never produce nuclear energy, because that would be like shooting birds in the dark in a country that has very few birds. I imagine he did say that. You can dispute it. You don't believe it. You think matter is dense. I think that matter is composed of empty space, a tiny nucleus, surrounded by electrons, separated from adjoining, neighboring atoms or molecules, a whole lot of empty space. And of course, the atmosphere has even more empty space than the chunk of steel that I mentioned earlier. Empty space. The so-called physics professor, the professional liar, says that muons resulting from collisions from galactic particles, so-called galactic cosmic particles, rays, galactic cosmic rays, which are really particles. They're protons and neutrons and various other little things moving very fast. He says that the muons would not have time to strike the Earth after these collisions, because their lifetime is very, 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 very short. And if the collisions happen 50 kilometers above the surface of the Earth, they wouldn't have time to reach the muon detectors on the surface of the Earth. Empty space. The atmosphere starts 50 kilometers out and is almost non-existent. It's practically a vacuum. Those cosmic rays can easily travel a great distance through the atmosphere without colliding with anything. They can even strike the surface of the Earth. They can pass all the way through the atmosphere and strike the surface of the Earth. That's a fact. Galactic cosmic ray detectors on the surface of the Earth will detect galactic cosmic rays, proving that some of them come all the way through the atmosphere without collision one. So some of these collisions, the guy's a liar. Some of these collisions take place a half a mile above the surface and produce muons, which are detected in the muon detector. This does not prove the theory of relativity. The guy is a liar, and he's talking to a bunch of students who are eager to make an A in his class, and so they pretend to agree with everything the SOB says. He happens to have a British accent. So what? I've got the link to his crappy, stupid lie below. I'm pissed at this garbage being pushed off on the world. This is a hoax. Relativity is based on an illusion. Einstein saw a photograph of a speeding train or a car or a movement and saw a blur and assumed that movement causes an object to lengthen. This is all BS. The whole relativity theory is BS. I don't know why it's being pushed off on the world and why there's an army of kooks out there on the internet promoting it like crazy. Like carnival barkers. They're pushing Einstein. His theory is bogus.